Wow, 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 wow. It's the Opie Radio podcast, folks. My name is Matt Farah. I host the Smoking Tire podcast where we talk about cars and other guy stuff. And I have been a fan of Opie Hughes for 18 years. I got Sirius XM and started listening to those guys back in 2001. And when they went off the air last year, I had nothing to listen to, but now he's back. The Opie Radio podcast. No FCC, no upstairs suits, no problem. Just Opie and the boys, Carl Ruiz, Vic Henley, Sherrod Small. I don't know about you guys, but I thought the last version of that show, before Opie got fired, was some of the best radio I've ever heard, and I am stoked it's back, and that Opie asked me to do this intro. I get to be on the show. Yes! On this episode of the Opie Radio podcast, I'm going to set the scene for you. Opie and Vic Henley are headed out of town to hang out with the guys from the band The Record Company. You know The Record Company. They're like every other band that Opie listens to. They sound like they're out of the 70s, but they're from today. And I'm picturing Opie driving east, because I always picture Opie driving east, in a 2014 Cadillac Escalade in black. I think he got it with that Sirius money back when it was heavy hitting dollars. And the good news is, Consumer Reports says the Escalade is one of just a few cars likely to make it to 200,000 miles, which is going to be good for Opie, because that's how many miles this thing's going to have by the time this podcast makes any money at all. So here it is, two of my favorite people, Opie and Vic Henley, in his old Escalade, going to see The Record Company. It's the Opie Radio podcast.
What's going on? It's time to podcast. I gotta tell you guys, this podcast has been so much fun to do so far. And today is no different. I'm in my car, and I'm on my way to Greenwich Village to talk to one of my favorite newer bands. That would be The Record Company. These guys are so cool, have so many cool songs out. If you've never seen them live, do yourself a favor and do that. They're absolutely amazing. And they're really down-to-earth, nice guys. What happened was, I got a call from their people. They said, hey, man, the record company just found out that you're back, that you got a podcast, and they want to get on it immediately. They got a new album coming out, and they would love to talk to you. And I'm like, yes, of course. So I'll be down in the village in just a little bit. But I decided before I do that, I should pick up Vic Henley, because he's a music guy. And over the last couple of years, doing the radio show with Vic Henley, he always missed out when the record company came in. So I gave him a call. I said, Vic, you want to go check out the record company with me? He said, absolutely. So I'm parked on some side street waiting for Vic Henley. He just said, I'm coming out. It's going to be fun to talk to Vic. He's never been in my car. The Cuban, Carl Ruiz, has been in this car a few times. It's going to be a pleasure to be in a car with someone that doesn't have to stop every mile or two to have a cigarette. Vic! I look like a fool. I'm in my car with a giant microphone screaming to you.
Yes, exactly. You look like a total perverted person.
Why would I be a perverted person with this big microphone?
Because you're trying to lure little children into your car, I'm assuming. But it's funny, my neighbor, I got a brand new neighbor, just moved in my building. Guess what his son's name is? Same as yours.
Oh, really?
Same as yours, yes.
We thought that, my son's name was kind of an original name, but it turns out if you pick a New York City type of name, you're gonna run into a lot of kids with the same name.
It was just really cool, though, because he just moved in. I don't talk to anybody in all three buildings. And I'm like, hey, I'm your neighbor. If you need me, I guess ask me for something. But other than that, kind of leave me the fuck alone. It's basically, and the kid's like 3 years old. He was really adorable, but it was really funny. And you're right, it was a New York City moment. But
begrudgingly, you were like, oh God, if you need anything, let me know.
Well, I'm a good neighbor. I tell you, I go, I'm a good neighbor, but I'm an absent neighbor. I'm not around that much. Right. Don't ask if all my email, all my information's available. Yeah. If you smell weed, yes, it's me.
Don't call the cops. Don't call the super. It's just me. We can work this out, okay? Relax. It's almost legal in New York City. Let's calm down. It's not 1978 anymore.
But I've been telling them, for everybody that I meet down through the years, I'm like, look, if you really need something, I will help you. But don't ask me for too much.
How long have you been in that building?
22 years.
How many people do you honestly know past just saying hi and, wow, it's a nice day outside?
Well, there's 30 people in 3 buildings joined together. So it's 2 apartments on each floor, 3 buildings, 5 floors, 30 people. 5 or 6 people. I know my neighbor. She's wonderful. She lives right next door to me. She's absolutely amazing.
She doesn't cook that Indian food, does she?
No, she doesn't. But she is a really good cook. She raised 2 kids by herself. She's a professor at Barnard. Oh. And so, but for 22 years living here, it is really fun at random moments to walk in there and I'm like, ooh, Kathleen's cooking something good.
My friend lived in Framingham, Massachusetts, and there was a lady that cooked Indian food, and it would just smell up the entire floor. Now, I like Indian food, but that stuff will smell long after you're done cooking and eating it.
Well, hers is mainly, it's not that. It's fried chicken, and nice. I mean, she was married to a Canadian dude, and Thanksgiving in Canada is a month before us. Yeah. It's in October instead of November. And she used to make me play every year when they were married before she caught him. No, I came home one day and his shit was in the hallway.
She wasn't playing.
Not at all. And begrudgingly told me the whole story, but I saw his shit sitting, I'm like, oh, something's going on.
Oh, it's going down.
Not as good as above me, where 20 years ago, the person who lived above me, he was the back half of Mr. Snuffleupagus on Sesame Street.
For real?
Yes. It takes 2 people to work.
Yeah, yes. I get it. Yeah.
And he was cheating on his wife. And I found out like 5 years later, the dude in the front part of the suit was also cheating on his wife. So they were in the costume together, cheating.
Can I break this down, though? I got to break this down. If you're playing the ass part, right?
I guess.
I don't think you should be cheating on anything.
Well, that's me with you. I'm playing the ass part.
Very nice. Do you have neighbors that leave stuff in the hallway?
No, they're really pretty good. They let them, you put baby strollers in there, that's allowed because you don't want to be dragging that up and down. But no, they're really, you can't even, they told us about a year ago, you can't even have a placemat anymore. It's a fire hazard. Oh. Somebody might trip over it. Right. No, I had to move my shit indoors. No kidding.
They get completely out of control with these buildings. It gets ridiculous. But I have a neighbor, and I am a very good neighbor, especially because I have kids, and I want my kids to play with other kids in the building because it's convenient. And my neighbor had a little girl that's the same age as my son, and we're like, ooh, this is going to be great. He could knock on the door, they could play a little bit. It would be, get him out of our hair for a little bit. She turned out to be not a nice person. She turned out to be extremely OCD, I think, because she would complain to the building every time we left something outside our apartment in the hallway. And I'm talking stupid stuff. Umbrellas, shoes, maybe gloves and hats in the winter, maybe an occasional scooter from one of my kids, right? And she would complain every time, and I would have security knocking on my door. Duh, duh, duh. You got to remove the stuff from the hallway. It's a fire hazard, like you were just saying. And I'm like, all right, who's the rat? And I have people in the building that really like us, and they finally told me who the rat was. It was this lady obsessively complaining about us.
I don't even understand. I think, actually, you and I ran into her on the street one day, and you were very cordial. Even because you knew all this, and you told me basically what you just said, but you were as sweet as you could be on the street. And when she walked away, you told me everything.
Did I tell you the story of her kicking our stuff?
No.
All right, so it was winter. We left all the kids' stuff out in the hallway, gloves, hats, their boots, let it dry out in the hallway. And all of a sudden we hear some commotion, and my wife looks through the peephole, and this lady, like a lunatic, is kicking our kids' stuff as hard as she can as she waits for the elevator. And then here's the other part of that. Then her little kid that we thought would be nice, friends with my son, was following the mom's lead and kicking my kid's stuff.
Well, you want to teach your children to be an asshole. I guess you just want to lead by example sometimes and be a giant dick and show, that's horrible.
And then we, obviously we caught her red-handed because we're looking through the peephole. So my wife opens up the door really fast and goes, "What are you doing?" And she goes, she's pleading innocence like she didn't do anything. And I'm like, my wife's like, well, how did my kid stuff, get thrown all over the place unless you were kicking it, which I know you were because I was watching through the peephole.
Well, and what happened? She was nice to you on the street that day, so did she act embarrassed and feel bad? And
no, she was as stoic as they come, and she just denied, and I got right in her face. I'm like, don't fucking kick my kid's stuff anymore, or we're gonna have a real problem. And the weird part is the husband I get along with.
I think I remember that part of the story too. I do remember that part of the story. Well, the shit didn't levitate and move itself. Yeah. So, but I'm glad I've never gotten any of that.
I kind of get the feeling that he wants to tell me, look, man, I can't control her.
Kind of staring at the floor.
Yeah, because he gives me these looks like, I've tried, bro. This is all you now, man.
Well, then you got to be the bad guy, I guess, in the building.
But we lucked out and we found out that they're moving.
Oh, nice. Oh, that's even better. I can't tell you how many people. Not really. Maybe only since I've been living here 20 years. Only maybe 7 or 8 people have come and gone. Mr. Snuffleupagus, and he left. She sold the place. She moved to Chicago. But everybody else is pretty good, I think, as far as I know.
So, do you have one of those buildings where you leave on a stretcher?
Yes.
Or I should say a gurney.
Well, when I moved in here, yes, I've seen 3 people die. There was an old man living with his 2 sisters. They're all Irish. And they were like 85, 83, and 80. And they've been living there for 45 years when I moved in. And he had a big black lab named Luke. And I used to see his name was Luke, and Clancy was the dog. And I would see him sitting out front all day long because you don't want to walk up 5 flights. Once you come down at 80 years old, you got to, But they were paying like $70 a month to live there when I moved in. It was still, rent control. We hadn't gone co-op yet, and everybody was buying. And they had been living there for 45 years, paying $70 a month.
That is wild. Sorry, I'm trying to multitask. I'm listening to the GPS. I'm going down this crazy ass hill, and I'm trying to podcast with Vic Henley.
And you're turning on the 2nd Avenue right now. Or are you going to take the FDR? Tell them where we're going.
I told them. I set it up, but I could certainly say it again. Yeah, we're turning on 2nd Avenue. We're going down to the Village to talk to the record company. I love those guys.
I told you when we talked about this a little earlier that this is where good things happen in the bathroom at Sirius. This is where not bad things happen and careers and lives are altered. This is actually, hey, is there anybody I might not be aware of that I should be listening to? And the dude, we're all standing there at the urinal, and whoever it was, you know him.
It was Mark Goodman, one of the original MTV DJs.
Oh, it was, right.
Who lives in my neighborhood, and he's a really, really nice guy. I see him on the street a lot, and we've kept in touch since my demise.
But he told us that day, he's like, dude, have you heard the record coming? And we were both like, no. And so, God bless Mark Goodman.
I was instantly hooked, man. They kind of have just such a cool groove to them. They got like kind of a bluesy thread, obviously, very original, and it's one of those bands where you could just put the whole album on and just kind of hang, man. It's great.
Well, that's what you want to do. Is back in the day, it was sequencing. It all comes together. You put it on, you go all the way through. So I did not get to. You went and saw him, I thought, or did you just talk to him? But I missed.
No, I saw him.
Yeah, I missed him. But I want to go see. I saw Blackberry Smoke. We've had some good music on the show.
That was the band that I was supposed to see that I didn't go to the show, and I'm kicking myself to this day. Blackberry Smoke, because that's another band I really, really enjoy.
That was a Jim Florentine. Mr. Jim Florentine suggestion. Yeah. And Greg Allman did a single with them. And
Free on the Wing, I think, is the name of the song.
I think you're right. I do think you're correct.
It's a great song.
Well, we've had Nathaniel Rateliff and the Night Sweats, the record company, Blackberry Smoke. Who else? I mean, it's really, that's what I'm saying. I haven't seen these guys, so I'm looking forward to bothering them with my musical geekness.
Well, that's why I brought you along for the ride, man. This is so weird that we're actually podcasting and driving in Manhattan, but it's a beautiful, beautiful day in New York City. What else was I going to tell? Oh, I have to tell you another thing about the record company. I'm not sure if you even know this, but we hit it off so well that they had a video they made for Rita Mae Young, which is an amazing.
Oh, I saw that. You sure? Yes. Absolutely, with the girl with the hula hoops.
Yeah. So the story goes, the girl with the hula hoop, she's a hula hoop girl, and she made these videos that went viral. I mean, stupid viral. I'm talking 10, 20, 30 million views. And fast forward, I'm in good with the record company. That girl from the hula hoop videos, she turned out to be an Opie and Anthony fan, and she started doing special videos just for us.
I remember I saw some of those with the paint in the hula hoop.
Yes.
Crazy good.
Yes.
Crazy good.
Ridiculously sexy, this girl.
I was going to say, very sexy, but artsy. Right on the perfect line of not skanky. just really sexy and cute. And and the whole hula hoop thing with the paint was amazing.
Yeah, you nailed that, actually. It was just very sexy, yes. Very seductive, but not going over the line, which I kind of like. I like that.
No, it was perfect.
Leave a little to the imagination, damn it.
It was absolutely perfect.
So then the record company, I don't know how they connected. I'm not sure, because the record company's been cool to us, like I said. So I don't know if somehow they were turned on to the hula hoop girl through our show or not. I don't know. She obviously had quite the fan base, the hula hoop girl. So then they had this song, Rita Mae Young, which is awesome. If you've never heard it, you should check it out after listening to this podcast. And long story short, they got the hula hoop girl in it. It's just her as the song's playing. You don't even see the band. And then the record company goes, hey, man, we got this video for Rita Mae Young. We want you to release it on your personal YouTube channel. I'm like, what?
That's nice. No, I'm telling you, that was the good part about Sirius, was roaming through those hallways and you bump into a Mark Goodman or somebody's got a recommendation or something. And 90% of the time, it's awesome. Really, really good. Don't hit this fan.
Well, I think I heard you. I was panicking there for a second.
Don't hit the van. Watch out for the Fox bus. So we're approaching the 59th Street Bridge, so it's about to get ugly.
Oh, yeah. Isn't Dangerfield's around here?
61st and 1st. We're on 2nd.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're still way up.
Okay. Right. I call it the sadness.
Why the sadness?
Because Rodney didn't even work there when he was alive. He lived upstairs and would walk down the street to 77th and Catch a Rising Star 77. He walked 15, 16 blocks from his own club because his own club was so bizarrely odd. And it still is, and I work there, but it's really, the sound system in the front's been blown out for 30 years. So when they tell everybody you need to move into the showroom, all you get is Charlie Brown's teacher.
Why would they fix that?
Because they don't fix anything. They don't. It's literally 1977. They have not turned one page.
It's creepy in there and very, very dark with those lamps, those little, I think they're little red lamps on every table.
Little red candle lights. They have their actual candles in the little red lamp. They have still going. Only waiters. No women have ever worked there ever. Everything's painted black. The carpet, the bar, the ceiling, the wall, everything's painted completely black except for the little red candles you're talking about. And Chario's been working there. He's an old Greek man that's the original Raider there, and he's 105 years old if he's a day.
I swear to you, if you didn't know any better, you thought you were going to a wake.
And he tells, right, and it's just, the things that used to go on in there, one of my favorite things he used to do is totally gross, and they would just do it to scare people. Chario, the old dude, had a laptop, and he would unfold the laptop and open it up and leave it when you walked in the front door, and all he put was black porn with giant black men having sex with white women in the butt. And they would just leave it there, so when the customers walked in, they just enjoyed, the bartenders and the other 2 or 3 waiters, they enjoyed the shock value of just watching some family from Iowa walk in and look at this crazy, nasty porn thing.
Is this real?
It's completely true. They finally made them. This went on for at least 7 or 8 years.
Did anyone complain?
And finally, they stopped it. Yes, someone finally complained, and then it was the weirdest thing ever. And they were all just grinning and winking and looking at each other.
What took them so long to complain about this?
So I don't know. I'm not a regular that often, but I'm telling you, that's one of the funniest. All the comics knew about it. We were all talking about it all over the city. Even when some of us didn't work there, we were like, you got to at least do 2 spots a week just to walk in there and watch Chario scare the people with the black porn.
Do you remember the day when it ended, or just one day it just wasn't happening? It wasn't happening anymore? Oh, okay. That's amazing because of this whole Me Too movement we're going through.
It was the most, and then after that, they went to the little brochures and pamphlets that would advise you to tell you where all the creepy, weird stuff was in the city. So they would just leave that on the bar, so people would like order a drink and then pick something up and look at it, and it would just be like three guys on a three-way with each other, just
Having a lemon party.
right. It was so they, after the laptop, they still went to the brochure porn for about 2 more years, and then finally the boss came in and was like, all right, enough with all this. Put the ugly shit away. Quit scaring people. We're trying to run a business here.
That is so weird. That brings actually up another memory. When I've never. Have you ever had a real job?
No.
Same here.
Yeah, no, 2 jobs in 10 weeks.
I came close to a real job. I was in shipping and receiving at Xerox up there in Rochester as a temp to hire.
That's nice.
But besides that, then I worked in a video store once.
I sold long distance for 6 weeks, and then I worked in I hadn't done anything in 33 years.
Yeah, I was a caddy, and then I worked in this video store when the VCRs and the VHS tapes first started. And my fraternity was up the hill. It was at my college. I was trying to make some extra money. They would come in and just take the VCRs. We only had 3 to rent out, and they would take them and put them up in the fraternity house for, a week at a time. And the owner of the video store is like, "Why aren't you renting out these VCRs?"
Well, I had work when I was young. When I worked for the city of Oxford, where I'm from. So we cut the grass in the middle of the highway and picked up trash in the median, and we built a 9-hole golf course. We laid the greens, and but not since. And then when I was in college, I worked for the intramural department. My job was I was an intramural supervisor.
Ooh!
So all I had to do, I had my own golf cart, and whatever in the fall and in the spring. In the fall it was football, in the spring it was softball. During the winter it was basketball. So I just rode around on my golf cart, and I'd show up, and I'm like, "Are y'all the Kappa Sigs? Are you the Lambda Chi's? Here's your ball. Here's your referee. Blah blah blah." And then I would roll on to the next field.
That's not a bad job.
It was amazing.
When I worked in the video store too, I was a hero, for Geneseo. That's where I was at the time, because that was the only way you could get porn.
Oh, really?
So, and once again, though, the fraternity brothers would come in and just wipe out the porn, or decide to put one on and hang out with me while I was working. But I would put the porn on, and we'd hang out, whatever, because that was the only way you could really see porn at the time. And then we would begrudgingly have to turn it off when a mom came in with a little kid to rent a Disney movie.
Well, that's life in the big city. That's how it works when you're rocking it at SUNY Geneseo.
And the owner of the place, he was so annoyed that he had to come from Syracuse, which really isn't that far. I'm trying to remember, maybe like 2-hour ride. He was so annoyed that he had to come from Syracuse to Geneseo to fire my ass.
Oh, really? That was his only beef, was that he had to drive. He couldn't do it over the phone. He had to drive 2 hours to tell you to stop it with the shenanigans.
I don't remember all the details, but I remember specifically that absolutely he drove all the way from Syracuse to fire me, and he made sure he told me how pissed off he was that he had to drive in to fire me. And the reason was that his numbers were dramatically lower.
Because y'all were grifting.
Yeah, because the fraternity brothers were taking the VCRs and wiping out the porno, because, that was big business back then for those video stores.
I remember that was the first time I saw porn was when I was in college, I think. And some girlfriends of mine actually had a neighbor that found something, and we all sat around, and it was just more weird than anything. It was old 70s porn, 80s, 70s porn.
Got you beat, actually. When we were in high school, I'm embarrassed to say this, but I think people will relate to it, because now you say you do this, people go, that just simply doesn't make sense. So I'm trying to set this up and defend myself before I say what I'm about to say. But on Long Island, there was a Bayshore movie theater that showed porn.
Ah, the old school.
And so me and my buddies in high school would go, all right, hey, you want to go to the Bayshore movie theater? We would all, pick up everybody, get a couple 6-packs of cheap beer, liquor up a little bit, and they would go into the creepy theater to watch porn. That's how I first saw porn.
This happened also when I was in college. It was on Saturday night at 12:30, midnight, way after, and my friends and I tried this a couple of times, but then the weirdos in there like masturbating and stuff scared us so bad we quit going. We went in there like 7 or 8 regular people, and there was just 3 old creepy dudes with the long overcoat on, and we were like, oh my God.
We definitely felt all that, and it was just weird. But I'm talking in the 80s, man. It made sense at the time that this is what you did to, because you didn't want to go in the porn theater by yourself because you literally felt like you would be assaulted.
Well, that's where we had the drive-in in my town when I was growing up.
No.
And they would put it, again, only on after midnight, and we all knew in high school where to park our cars up on the side of the hill. Where you don't need the volume.
No. Is that really true?
That's totally true. This is also, and Ron White told me, remember his story where he had the same thing in his neighborhood, and the dude caught him. And remember his mom told this story on our show, because they were running, the dude caught him, and they were running, and Ron's friend was skinnier than he was, and he dove under the fence and crawled out, and Ron's fat ass got caught on the fence. And so they got him, so they had to call his mom to come pick him up. And Miss Barbara told this, she's like, bless his heart. He was like a little hog under that wire and couldn't get out. Totally good.
I'm jealous of these kids today because, you just turn on your phone and there's the porn. We really had to search it out.
Oh, you had to work? Well, these guys, in a lot of comics I've heard, and they have really good jokes on this, where the premise is that, we're an accessible generation for click, anything gross or weird you want to see is available to anyone on their phone. And so now when these teenagers start having sex with somebody, if they go straight porn mode, they look like weirdos. We were just making out and trying to grab a boob or something. They're doing chirping bird and every kind of odd. People don't even know you're like, we're 18, dude. What's going on?
That's funny. My move when I was growing up was I had a paper route for a little while, and then one day I saw like old magazines and newspapers are all tied up in bundles. And I was thinking to myself, man, there must be... I think I was officially looking for any type of magazine, for free, because I grew up pretty poor. And I would take some of these bundles with me to the woods, and I would, cut the twine off it and see what I got. It was almost like storage wars.
Grab bag, right. Totally. It's $5, whatever you get in the bags, whatever you get, right.
And one day I hit the jackpot. Some dude was throwing away all his porn magazines. I went, holy shit. And then it became my full-time job to try to find more of this.
That's right. I still remember the dude in my neighborhood who used to do this. And he didn't know. We all laughed because we were talking about, because it was basically Playboy, Penthouse. That was basically it. Swank, maybe, or something gross. But OUI.
Yeah, sure.
And we had the dude that was doing what you were doing in our neighborhood. We were talking about all the titty books that we liked, and he's like, somebody said, OUI is pretty good, and he goes, oh, if it's as good as OUI, he didn't know that OUI was pronounced we.
What an idiot.
Danny Capone. I still love him. He's a good man.
I love that. I still love him.
He's lived across the street from me forever. Totally good dude.
I'm a little distracted because my GPS is just in a tizzy now. Which way do we go? How do we get downtown from here now?
You got to go on the FDR south. I used to think you could get on right up here, so I'm not sure. But it says dead end. So.
It does say dead end.
No, it's telling you to go to the Harlem River Drive, which is north.
What the hell? All right, I'm going to pause this because we got to figure out where we're going. We're in a lot of traffic in New York City as we head down to Greenwich Village to interview the record company. This is going to be a lot of fun. We'll be back, man. Stay where you are.
Driving. Podcasting.
Check 1, 2. Is this thing on?
Talking porn. Opie Radio.
What the fuck?
The Opie Radio podcast.
What the fuck is he talking about?
I'm confused.
No, I make fun.
And Vic, one other thing about getting porn when we were a lot younger, unlike these kids that just get it on their phone, I had a stationery store, and I would go in there. I would slowly but surely make my way to the magazine section, trying to be cool, like I'm just looking around.
Just right, browsing.
browsing, but I would start at the baseball cards and where the candy was, and then the magazine section, because they sold porn, was sort of in the back. So I think it was pretty obvious to the person that owned the stationery store that if a kid my age, I'm talking 12, 13, was back there, they're trying to look at porn.
Dan Whitney, Larry the Cable Guy, he had some great jokes because when they would put them in plastic, and you had to buy like 5 magazines at one time, and the front one would always be in black and white, and that always aggravated him when he was a teenager. He's like, I'm trying to buy my spank pack, is what he called it. And he's like, you put the one with the colored pictures on the front, you don't put the black and white. Or you know somebody's really, really desperate if they buy the spank pack with the black and white on the front.
I was laughing.
You missed a turn.
I was laughing so hard I just missed our turn.
So
that gives us more time to talk, I guess. Now, how the hell am I going to get over there?
I don't know, but this policeman looks like they may help us. I don't know if that's a man or a woman. I don't know if this man or a woman. I think it's a dude. It's a dude.
Yeah, it doesn't matter these days. I don't even think you can acknowledge gender.
No, but how horrible is this job? This is the worst job ever. Seriously, standing here at 2 p.m. on the Upper East Side in Manhattan, it's not even rush hour yet, and there's 2 of them. Look, that's crazy.
And they have no hearts. They hire a kind to be these traffic cops.
I like the guy. Look at the shirtless man crossing the street over here. Here's a New York City moment. Right there, running, shirtless.
Run, Forrest, run!
He's got his earbuds in. He didn't hear you. He laughed. The cop laughed.
Hey, I need to take a left, though. Oh, no! We love the story. He told me. I made him laugh.
Thanks, man.
Thank you, brother. We will now. I know I'm blocking, but he told me I could go.
Wait, this is really awesome, though. That's a good New York City moment we just had right there. You made him laugh with the Run Forrest Run, and now we're making an illegal left turn from the right-hand lane, going across 5 orange cones. Here we go. We're on. We're in. Done.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Oh, my God. He just let us cut in front of 20 cars. We literally would have had a sit through probably 5 lights.
We would have had to go down to the 50s. We would have not. No, you made the dude laugh. The power of comedy, Mr. Greg Hughes.
Yeah. For people that like New York City, we're on the FDR and we're driving under the 59th Street Bridge.
Or the Feelin' Groovy song, Simon and Garfunkel.
Or the intro to Taxi.
Absolutely, yes. Doo-doo-doo. Bob James played that theme song. I think.
Oh, Christ, you and your music knowledge. I'm going to close your window. I'm sorry, but I don't know if... Oh, now it's really quiet in here. Ooh, now it's very intimate.
I'm glad that you started driving yourself again. All those drivers you had all those years were just oppressed. You were mean to them.
I wasn't mean. Vic, come on.
I'm making all this up. No, I'm completely making all this up. As far as I know, you've always driven yourself.
I need your help. I'm actually trying to show people what kind of person I really am.
You can be regular.
Can be.
Sometimes, I tell everybody, he sometimes lets me come out to Long Island and feed the swans. It's because you got a whole herd of them. I don't think it's called a herd. It's a gaggle of geese.
Yeah, let's go with a gaggle. I have geese. Now I have geese. Okay. And I had a million drivers. I had Club Soda Kenny, who was great to me. So the stationery story. So then I would kind of make my way to the magazines, and then I would watch the mirrors in the store, and then I would pick my moment, and I would go for it. It was the only shoplifting I ever did.
Ooh, I used to only steal music. I used to steal 45s.
Really?
Yeah, one of my friends and I one time, there was 3 of us, and we stole the entire, at JCPenney, they put the top 30, and we stole 90 45s. We stole the entire top 30 for all 3 of us. 90 records. My mom came home that day and goes, "Where'd you get all this?" I'm like, "I've been saving, I've been cutting grass." And she's like, "You ain't been cutting grass." I go, "I got a paper. You don't have a paper route."
She let you get away with it, though, obviously.
It was the old kind of, don't ask, don't tell kind of thing. It just turned into, we were dirt poor as you were growing up. So somehow maybe that was showing a little initiative. I stole what I wanted and didn't hurt anybody. So.
Very nice. And then I would run for it. I would grab the magazine and run for it, and then I would pretty much bury it in the woods behind my house out there on Long Island.
Everybody, my friends used to do that. They always had their stash hidden in the woods for some reason.
Well, you can't bring it in the house.
But it's going to get rained on or, messed up somehow.
No, man, you're a rookie. You got to put in all sorts of plastic, not just one plastic bag. You got to use multiple plastic bags. I do remember, though, that some nights I wanted some alone time, and it would be a whole thing how to get the magazine in from the woods into my bedroom for the night.
Oh, wow. I don't even.
It was like date night.
Yeah,
I remember my younger brother, Brett. Now, Brett was he's 6 years younger than me, and I remember he was so on to me. He's like, what are you doing in the woods? Why are you so suspicious? What the hell's going on? I never let on, but I know to this day that he was on to me. And then I would get it into my bedroom.
My brother is so much older than me. My aunt got him a Playboy calendar. So he's like 17. For his 16th birthday, he wanted a Playboy calendar. My mom allowed this because it's the 60s, so it's just boob shots mainly. But I'm a kid. I'm 12 years. I'm roaming around the house, and I couldn't get in his room enough. I was sitting in there like 7 or 8 years old going, I don't know why this is exciting for me, but this is really, really good. So then my middle brother, Mike, got the same thing. Everybody got the Playboy calendar when they turned 16. I took mine to school and put it in my locker and got in trouble. Everybody was hanging at my locker.
Now if you get caught with something like that in school, they're going to kick you out. You're done.
Oh, you'd certainly be, you'd be removed. They just took my calendar. Nothing happened. I didn't even get suspended. Nothing happened. Just take it down, stop hanging out at Henley's locker.
By the way, this is much better than stupid Jerry Seinfeld's comedians in cars getting coffee. We're having a real conversation, not something that is spliced to death for 12 stupid minutes.
Sorry,
I don't want to, ruin it for you by trashing Jerry Seinfeld.
No, he used to have. I always tease Jerry Seinfeld because when I was married to Robin Williams, she was really hot, and he always tried to have sex with her. And so I'd be in many a night doing spots around the city. I'm like, hey, fucker, I'm standing right here.
Wait, you were married and he didn't give a fuck?
We were dating, and he didn't care. And then years later, when we were married and lived in L.A., I ran into him in L.A. He walks up to her at the Improv and starts doing it again. And I'm like, hey, we're married, dick. So
I love your honesty. I love it, Vic.
He didn't care. He was like, oh, well, Vic, I believe that a man should wake up in the morning and whatever. But I was like, dude, seriously. But she was that good looking.
And yes, Robin Williams is a female. You've explained that over the years.
I am a comic, and I'm married. My first wife's name was Robin Williams. We were together for 11 years.
That's pretty cool. All right, now, huh? No, I mean, it's not pretty cool for you, but hearing that you're a comic and you met, yeah, I guess you're right. What am I trying to make something out of that? It's just stupid.
Well, I told the original Robin Williams that when I first met him at the Cellar one night. We were sitting there, and I go, hey, I married somebody. She's from Houston. Her name's Robin Williams. He kind of laughed a little bit. And I go, that ain't the funny part. He goes, what's the funny part? I go, she's hairier than you.
Was she really?
Oh, God. Full-on Kaepernick out of the butthole. A full-on Kaepernick afro wig out of the butthole.
What nationality?
Some Filipino and white. So Texas. Dad was Filipino, and his mother married an American serviceman, so she was 1/4 Filipino. But I don't think that had anything to do with the hairy. They're not hairy people as far as I know. But
I don't know, Vic.
I just know. I know that I get to tell this because it cost me $83,000.
So let me have this moment.
I will be mean and name call and say you have a hairy bunghole because I paid you $83,000.
I gotta tell the people something about Vic Henley. Done radio with him for a bunch of years at this point. He's never called me to say, "Could you edit that out?"
No, and why would I?
No, I don't blame the people that do over the years call me and go, bro, I was feeling it, but now I'm having second doubts. Could you take this out or do this for me, which kills me every time because I know it's the good stuff, but whatever. But you have never told me to take anything out of the radio show, the podcast, nothing.
I don't care because it's funny, supposedly. Supposedly.
Nah, there's some laughs here for sure. For sure. Speaking of Harry, I lost my virginity to a girl that had a very rare birth defect, and she had what I can only describe as almost like I guess you can't call it a mane, but it was thick hair, not a little hair, not like peach fuzz that you know a lot of the women have, but it was thick, dark hair that went the length of her spine.
Oh my God. See, that would be that. I just kind of want to pet her all day long.
She was beautiful.
I'm sure you did, right?
She was beautiful, big blue eyes, but man, it turned me off to doggy style for a while.
I had one that was crazy about me in high school, and she had a full-on mustache. I mean, it was a Billy D. Williams, but she was smoking hot. She was a cheerleader from the crosstown school, and all my friends, and I wouldn't go out with her. She was crazy about me, and all my friends are going, dude, ignore the mustache, just ignore it. I'm like, it's a full-on Colt 45 Billy D.
Was it really that bad?
It was pretty, it was pretty bad, and then they all said, no, you got to overcome this. You got to overcome this, and so I did.
That's tough to overcome, I think. Did you hint that she should wax it or anything?
No, I never brought. My only out was her mom brought up some stuff about my family, and so I probably was getting ready to break up with her anyway. And then I went to pick her up one night, and it was the mom. The mom was the old 800-pound woman that's married to the man that weighs 90. They're the number 10 when they're standing together. And I was waiting.
Chubby chaser.
And she was late, and her mom said something about some stuff that was going on around town with my family. And I went, bye. I go, tell her I said, you're a fat piece of shit, and I'm never going out with her again, and she should fucking wax that mustache.
No, a parting shot.
And I walked out the door, yes. Her dad owned the Harley Davidson dealership.
Oh, you got balls.
In our town, right.
You got balls.
Well, I thought he was, I could have broke him in half, and I'm not a badass.
Yeah, but what about his friends?
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Bikers don't play, man.
Now, when you're 17, you're not thinking clearly, but...
That is true. I think we're almost where we need to be. We're on Houston. Yeah, we're actually really close. So why don't we do this? Good place to stop. I'm with Vic Henley. I'm in my car, and we're going to be talking to the record company, a great band, in just a bit. So I want you to stay there. I also want to thank you for subscribing to this podcast. If you haven't subscribed, you're listening to this another way, that's okay. But I'd appreciate it if you subscribe. And if you like what you're hearing, give us a review. Give us a nice 5-star review. That really, really, really helps us out as we try to build this thing. All right, more with Vic Henley, and we talk to the record company next.